Welcome in. It is the first edition of the Hillwood Athletics Coaches Show. Joining me is Coach Stewart, head coach of the Lady Topper Soccer Program. Coach Stu, how you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's hump day, so we're getting we gotta push through the rest of the week. Got to get ready for practice and everything like that. First thing I want to get to, I noticed on the schedule you guys have a lot of games this week. So you guys played Monday, Tuesday, and you guys play again Thursday.
Yeah.
So how did these first two games go?
Lost a tight one to Hillsborough, 2-1. Lost that one basically in the last 10 minutes of the game. Little mental slippage, but it happens. Won yesterday big against STEM Prep. And, we have one against USN on Thursday, so that's a good program.
And that's at USN, right?
That's at USN, yeah.
Gotcha.
So the girls have progressively gotten better each week in each game. The thing I've had to remind them and remind everybody is we lost the preseason. Jamboree was a little bit of a mess up, and then we tried to play Davidson Academy, and Mother Nature had different plans. So we really only got one preseason game.
Right.
So just trying to figure out how to play together. We're getting there. It's a good looking group. They're better than they know they are, and we're gonna be fine.
So what's the key to unlocking all that? Just more reps?
More reps, more trust. It's my first year with the program. I love the program, and it's not something that I had to build. It was kind of already built.
Yeah.
So there is a mix of getting used to Coach Stewart and how he wants things done and how he runs things versus their old coach, who was fantastic. Just that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's always a transition period when you're changing coaches. Even when you have a successful coach and things, people just get used to doing things a certain way, and
sure do.
It happens. But I've noticed in the limited viewing that I've had, because we're usually getting off practice, and I'll watch parts of the game, and I'll see you guys out there practicing some too as well. And it just looks like they're just trying to get on the same page. Mm-hmm. It looks like they're playing hard. That's not an issue, and it just seems like it's a big youth movement here at Hillwood, and then transitioning over into Lawson. So we're dealing with it in football. Volleyball's dealing with it. I'm sure basketball will deal with it to a certain degree. I know Coach Bishop's girls team is going to be dealing with that, and I know baseball will have a lot of youth. I'm not sure about softball. Got a whole new leadership going on there, so we'll find out in the spring. Really, we'll talk to Coach Locke on that and get the rundown post tryout. So. But yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that they're progressing. It's good to hear that they're trying to get on the same page. That's just kind of what we need to do, as long as that spirit is there, right?
Exactly.
Do you notice that there's a certain spirit within the group?
Oh God, yeah. They're very strong young ladies. I coached a lot of them at middle school. It's been wonderful to see their growth.
Right.
They're a little less shy about telling you their opinion on things, if you can imagine.
No, high schoolers not shy about giving their opinions. Nah.
But the thing is, I really do want that type of ownership in your team, and I want that type of ownership in your school. If you don't care about anything,
right,
then you just don't care. And you don't care if you win, you don't care if you lose. And that continues on with life. One of the great things about sports and what it teaches us is to be all in. And I told the girls, I went to Hillwood. I got cut from the basketball every year I tried out.
Right.
And I told them, but I never got cut giving less than 100%.
Right.
I got cut at 100%.
Right.
And that was for my own, edification. I did the best I could, and I left it all out there on the court. It wasn't good enough, or the coaches didn't like it. That's on them. This is what I can do.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good. So what leadership qualities on a soccer field do you need to see emerge?
I have extremely skilled players. You have a Mia Andrews, who is very direct in her speaking, but also completely selfless on the field.
Right.
She did a cross yesterday that was so gorgeous that if we'd have had proper video for it, it would have ended up on the top 10 on ESPN. I kid you not.
Yeah.
That's a player that in the first game, the first preseason game, she scored 5 goals herself.
Yeah, I mean, she is. I had her in PE class, and she plays for Coach Bishop as well, and basketball, and she is she has high energy.
Very
And
much so.
she can go, and that's a special part of her game. I watched her play basketball in PE, played against her some during some pickup games. So,
Well, good luck. You won't have one.
Thankfully, I didn't have to guard her because she probably would have left me in the dust.
Yeah, well, she is such a she's such a smart player. I mean, she's all of them up front. Izzy Riera and Malia Roberts. I've got a freshman, Anna Earring. It's been very intimidating for her because I put her up there with them, and of course Malia and Mia are extremely direct.
Right.
But I like that, so I can't really. I'm not trying to put the brakes on it. I do want to soften it just a touch sometimes with them. Yeah. But I also told her, if Mia's in the middle of a run and you mess up her run, she's probably not gonna. If she's quiet, that's as good as that's gonna get. Right. Not in a put you down type of way, but you're ready to be playing with them, but you have to learn how to play with them, and you have to learn their leadership style. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with a freshman being a little afraid of messing up for an upperclassman.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, You see that at every level, every sport. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to find their way. And, switching over to football, again, we play really hard. I mean, the game on Friday against Kenwood, the score, you know how sometimes, it's a score that's like that, and it's just got your butts kicked, and there's nothing you could do. Like, if you take away 5 plays in that game, it's 7-6.
7-6.
It's 7-6.
I was proud to see the touch. I was at the game.
Yeah.
I was proud to see Hillwood fight back and get that touchdown. That meant a lot to me as somebody who went to the school.
Yeah. And we play hard, Coach.
Very hard.
We play hard. We make some key mistakes in very inopportune times. I think that's what plagued us in that game. Tackling is something we've been trying to improve on. And Coach Brady coming in mid-June, we're getting the strength program off the ground. Yeah. But that year and a half of COVID, we're just not there yet. We're still just a very weak team as far as strength and conditioning goes because we just haven't had those reps.
Right.
And so once we finally kind of get that, it's already established. Now, once we kind of get that culture redirected and completely 1,000% bought in, it's going to be good. And we're still very, very young and still learning how to play within the game and play with each other as teammates and trying to trust that this guy's going to be in that spot. And, in football, there's a lot of moving parts. And when one breaks down, it can mess up the whole operation. But the effort's there, the resiliency is there. A lot of the
That's a beautiful thing.
A lot of the key intangible qualities are there. So that's the great thing about it. That's what makes it enjoyable right now, is that we can come to practice every day, know that these kids are going to give their 100% effort when they're there. What that looks like on Friday night, I don't know how it's going to translate. We have a tough schedule, but we're going to give everybody's going to wake up on Saturday morning going, yeah, we just played Hillwood and it wasn't fun.
Right.
They're going to wake up sore, bumps and bruises. They're going to, we're going to fight you till triple zeros.
That's how you do it.
And, I hope that translates into some wins. It should, even down the road. We're just building a foundation.
When you build it like that, when you take people that, I remember my first year coaching girls soccer at Bellevue Middle, Martin Luther King beat us 21-0. It was really one of the most disgusting things I'd ever been a part of. It burns me to this day to talk about it. But I'll tell you, that was on a Tuesday. That Wednesday, the entire team came out. And some of those are seniors now, Keely King and Jaden McElfresh. And for them to have that type of resiliency that you were talking, that I didn't like that, I want to get better.
Right.
We ended up 2 years later becoming 4th in the district. We had a really good season. That young man, I'll say that to the football team. Some of these losses may hurt now, but I promise you, if you stick with it, if you keep climbing every rung on the ladder that the coaches put before you, trust me, before it's all said and done, you will be able to have your moment in the sun and get your victories. Trust me. Absolutely.
And I'd be interested to kind of get a report from Coach Tinsley. We'll get that in after our pilot episode is over. But it seemed like, I want to get your point of view on this, but it seemed like just from field level and not really like paying attention to it, but just kind of noticing it a little bit. The atmosphere seemed to be pretty good for the home game.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did some things that I wanted to bring to girls soccer just to bring up a little bit more hype to it. The first things first is national anthem. Listen, I told the girls, I don't care if you have a protest, I don't care whatever it is, but we're going to play the national anthem. You either stand at attention, hand on the heart. If you're going to kneel, you're going to kneel. That's it. I don't like talking. Anything else gets on my nerves. So you can do one of those three things. Coach Stewart will support it, and I'll defend you on it if you just feel like you need to make a statement. We did that. We have an announcer calling the games, and usually we didn't have it last night, but we have the gong. That's going to be our new tradition. So every time we score, you're going to hear Yodelay-hee-hoo, at least for this season, because we're hilltoppers. We're on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear a gong hit, and that brings I think it just brings a different spirit. The band's definitely interested in being more involved in our games, and I want them. I want every student, I want every teacher, I want every adult. It'll be an atmosphere unlike any other girls' soccer game you've ever been in. Trust me when I tell you, because one thing I can tell you about the Lady Toppers is they want to win. They put up with me, they got to want to win.
I know that you're not going to accept anything less. Yeah, I think it's funny because I'll watch European soccer occasionally and MLS soccer and stuff like that, and you see the fan sections for those, and they just get freaking wild, man.
Crazy.
We did it when I was in high school. We did it for basketball. Obviously, I was playing football, so I didn't participate in the football team. But our student sections made a difference,
big time.
Like in basketball, we finished in a region that we had no business. We call them regions in Georgia, but in a region that we had no business making a semifinal run in. We made a semifinal run in basketball. And a lot of it was we played – obviously the basketball team's got to score more points than the other in order to win. But, I felt like we made a difference in some of those occasions because we could alter the course of the game. We could get in their head. Yeah. And we would find those players on the other team and – we had our chance. We had our things that we did, and we never crossed the line. Right. We took we didn't line cross, but we had a little fun with it, little gamesmanship, right? And so we'd get in their head, the airball chant that everybody does, right? We did that, and it was specific to a player. So if one player made an airball, every time they touched the ball, we'd start chanting airball. When they passed it, we'd stop. And
psychological warfare.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it should be.
And we had those chants, and I feel like if we had that stuff at football, it would make a difference. If we had it at soccer, it'd make a difference. In soccer, you can chant constantly.
Constantly, the whole game.
You have
beautifully obnoxious.
You just have a single drum, and you got one person.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
That would when we go to the new school. Whatever we are, Lynx, Lions, Lightning, I think those are the top three. I think those are the finalists. Whatever we are, we name that section.
Yeah.
If it's Lions, we name it the Lions Den. If it's Lynx, I don't know enough about Lynx, I'll be honest with you. But
neither do I. But
whatever pertains.
Lightning, the lightning rod, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. The Thunderdome, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, if we're the Lightning. So those type of things. I think getting the students engaged. You go to games around the state. You go to an Independence game. Those students are there 2.5 hours before the game. Yeah, it's very much like SEC football feel.
Big time.
And they are heckling you during warm-ups. So
believe it or not, many moons ago, that's how Hillwood games were. Maybe not so much tailgating, but that stadium was full, and we played football for Phil Grammer. That was the coach, and. He just had us really big. His big thing when he was upset with you is you're embarrassing your parents. Right. And that was that was the hardest card in his arsenal. And trust me, he had plenty of them. But, people wanted to be here. And this is the final climb. If you're Hillwood alum, whatever, come on, man. This is such a fun experience. It is. Just root these young people on because I'm seeing your football players. You guys are doing a great job with them. Excellent all of our athletes, all of our academics, they're really working hard, and getting some love from some Hillwood old heads would really be just taking.
And get some love in the hallways too.
Please
support it, man. If you want it to be better, support it. You know, give them that little extra hype. Even if you got to create that juice. You got to create the juice. So, and then create the juice at the games, no matter what.
This is our home.
Just be there. Just no matter what. Like, come up with chance. Like we were. Like I said, our basketball team had no business making a semifinal run. My senior year, our football team had no business winning 6 games, and we won 6 games.
There you go.
Like we played against a team that signed 22 football scholarships.
Right.
Between Division II and Division I.
Wow.
We played against a team like that.
Wow.
And we played against several teams that had dudes like that.
Oh wow.
That was littered in our roster, or not our roster, but our schedule. And it was extremely like at 6-4, we didn't make the playoffs. That's how competitive that region was. Yeah, top 4 make the playoffs in football.
Right.
We finished 6-4. We finished, I think, tied for 5th.
Wow.
You had 2 10-0s, you had a 9-1, and you had a 7-3.
Okay.
And then you had a few 6-4s, and then you had the rest were, whatever below that.
That's impressive.
So and it was a mega region too. So it's like we played against. Like I played against guys that played at Georgia, Alabama, played against guys that signed here, there, and everywhere, and it was ridiculous. So, but it's doable.
Yeah, very much so.
We won 6 games in that region somehow.
That's awesome.
Well, we won a couple of our non-region. We had like two non-region games. We won those 2.
Oh.
That helped, but we just played together, and we'd been together since we were yay big.
Wow.
We'd been playing and competing against each other.
Wow.
All our childhood in baseball, football, basketball,
So
all the leagues we competed against each other, with each other, combination of both. And then when we finally got to Fayette County, we were a great freshman team. We were a great JV team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we turned over as juniors. We had very little seniors that year, so that was a tough year.
Right.
And then our senior year, 6-4. And then like 2 years later, team went 11-0.
Wow.
Got exited, got bounced in the second round, but we finished the regular season 10-0, won the first playoff game, and then got bounced.
Wow.
So it was interesting, but that's just it's a great thing when you can get the atmosphere right.
Really
the atmosphere was right. You could hear the speakers going, you could smell the burgers that were being cooked, and that was all student driven.
That's awesome. See,
That was all student driven. And they got together and said, "Hey, we're gonna knock this thing out of the park," and they did, absolutely did. It looked fun. I looked up there. They had megaphones. They had a whole ceremony at the end of the year to pass down the shirts and the flags to the next generation. Hey, you're going to carry this flag onto the field through the run through. Like that was a whole thing too.
That's awesome.
So it became a tradition. Like we had shirts that went. And shirts only last a finite amount of time, but we had shirts that passed down like, I think a total of like 5 years.
Okay.
5 years of lineage on the shirts, and then the shirts kind of morphed. But I'd be interested to know what it's like now. But then it was
pretty.
I mean, it was an atmosphere for sure. Awesome. So, but we're gonna wrap there.
Okay.
Okay. This is the pilot episode of the Hillwood Athletics Coaches Show. The pilot. So the pilot always means we're getting it off the ground. It's going to improve. We're going to have guests, coaches, players. In the winter sports, we're going to have Coach Terrell. We're going to have Coach Maldonado. We're going to have Coach Froden, Coach Bishop. In the spring, we're going to have Coach Ginsburg.
Watch that Froden guy.
That Froden guy, man. What can you? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, but that, like I said, it's going to be a weekly thing. We're gonna try to get to you weekly. Once we get it off the ground, it'll be a fine-tuned machine. It'll roll itself. But we're gonna get the girls soccer team. They're gonna come decorate this background here. They're gonna decorate this area so that we have a good camera shot. We need to decorate over here too. Just get some knickknacks so we have some cool stuff in the shot.
It's gonna look awesome.
It's going to look awesome. We need to get that disco ball over there. We need to get that. We need to get that. Rehug over here, maybe.
Yeah,
get it in the shot.
Black out the windows a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to look nice, but again, baby steps. Baby steps. We're still on the tarmac here. So, but that's your pilot episode of Hillwood Athletics Coaches Show. For Coach Stewart, I'm Coach Burton. We will see you back here next time. Go Toppers.